Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something precious, something we're all losing without even realizing it, our mental agency. You know, in this world of constant dings, notifications, and AI assistants, you've got to ask, are we still in the driver's seat of our own minds? Let's get into it. So the idea for this really kicks off with a powerful story. The author is looking out from her mom's kitchen window and sees this elderly woman on a balcony next door. Her family is bathing her, she can't do it herself, and it just hits the author. What that woman was missing was physical agency, the ability to just act on her own terms. Right, so that's physical agency. But here's the twist. The author realized it wasn't just about getting old. A lot of us, right now, are voluntarily giving up the agency of our minds, not to age, but to our phones, our apps, our devices. We're literally handing over our ability to make intentional choices, one little click at a time.
And look, this isn't some sci-fi futurist coming problem. This loss of agency, it's been sneaking up on us for years. It's this quiet automation, not of our jobs, but of how we think.
I mean, just think about how it's happened. A decade ago, it was Netflix just feeding you the next show to binge. A few years ago, your phone started finishing your text for you. And now, today, a lot of us are handing over a rough draft of an email or an idea to an AI and saying, hey, make this sound better. We've gone from outsourcing our entertainment to outsourcing the very act of thinking. And this leads to what you could call the God complex trap of generative AI. It feels great, right? It makes us feel so powerful. We type a command and boom, it does it. But that's the trap. It almost never questions why we're asking. It doesn't push us to think any deeper. It just gives us exactly what we want, not always what we might actually need. We have to get our heads around this. This new AI is just different. It's not a simple tool. It's persuasive. It's literally learning how to change your mind. It's predictive. It knows what you want before you do. I mean, think about those creepily specific ads. And it's deeply personal. It can learn to write like you, to think like you. And all of this is happening while we are just drowning in information. Get this. The average person consumes the equivalent of 174 newspapers worth of information every single day. When you're facing a tidal wave like that, of course it's easier to just let the algorithm decide for you. But is it better?
So this brings us to the one simple, incredibly powerful question we have to start asking ourselves. Seriously, before you click that link, before you accept that auto-suggestion, before you let an AI polish your work, just pause and ask. Am I being intentional right now, or am I letting the algorithm do the thinking for me? Answering that one question, that's the first step back.
Okay, so how do we fight this modern problem? Well, funny enough, we don't need a new age solution. Turns out, some ancient wisdom gives us a perfect model for this. Let's talk about the chariot and the reins. In Hindu philosophy, there's this really elegant metaphor that maps out the different parts of our consciousness. It gives us this crystal clear picture of who's really in charge and how we can start steering our lives with a little more purpose. All right, let's break it down. Picture this. Your body, that's the chariot, the vehicle that gets you around. Your senses, what you see, hear, taste, those are the horses, always trying to pull you in a million different directions based on impulse. Now your mind holds the reins, the tool you use to guide those horses. But, and this is the absolute key, the one holding those reins is the charioteer, your intellect. Real mastery, real agency, only happens when your intellect is firmly in charge, using the mind to guide the senses.
So how do we actually strengthen that inner charioteer, especially with all the digital distractions? Well, this ancient idea gives us a perfect foundation for some really practical modern strategies to take back our minds.
Here are 4 strategies you can start using. First, find your innate joy. What do you love to do just for the sake of doing it? Agency comes from creating, not just consuming. Second, practice frame shifting. Step back from a problem and ask, what if there's another way to look at this? Agency comes from problem solving. Third, build habits that are rooted in who you want to be, not just some fleeting motivation. And finally, define a purpose for your life. When you know where you're going, you automatically take the reins. So really, this is the choice we're all facing every day. On one side, you've got the external algorithms. They're designed for engagement, they give you easy answers, and they push you to just passively consume. On the other side, you've got your own inner compass.
It's guided by your values, it requires some real thought, and it encourages you to actively create. One path is definitely easier, but the other one, that's where the meaning is.
And choosing that second path, deciding to actually listen to your own inner compass, that's more than just a good idea. In the world we live in today, it's pretty much an act of rebellion.
Look, what this all boils down to is that taking back your attention, your focus, it isn't just about being more productive. It's a really courageous act of self-determination. It's you deciding to trust your own gut over an algorithm, and it's you affirming that your mind belongs to you.
So remember, your phone, your feeds, your AI assistants, they're not your master. They're just tools. The real question, the one you have to answer for yourself, has been the same for centuries, but it's more important now than ever. Who is driving your chariot?